by the Professional Darts Corporation, and a very warm welcome to the viewers joining us live on Sky Sports and the millions joining us around the world. It's time to meet the players. Ladies and gentlemen, 6 times Premier League champion and the record-breaking, history-making, 16 times the champion of the world. It's Phil the Power Taylor. Ladies and gentlemen, the reigning Auckland Darts Master, the former European champion, and the 2-time back-to-back champion of the world, jackpot, Adrian
got his serious head on Phil Taylor. Lewis larking around a bit. At Sky Sports Darts, our Twitter account. At Sky Sports on Instagram. Join the party. I noticed we've got 180,000 followers. 180,000. We don't need any more followers now, that'll do. Night 5 of the Premier League. Phil Taylor, Adrian Lewis. Wayne Mardley, your mind must be cast back to the Grand Slam semi-final of 2013. That memorable match, just the 32 180s on that occasion.
Well, even 8, 9 or 10 in this match, it would make it a bit special. These are two players, we know what they're capable of, but it's just about doing it on this evening. We know and they know that they've got to be on their very, very top game if they want to get anything out of it. I do think, though, that this is more important for Adrian Lewis because he's failed to qualify for the playoffs so often. And he's got to start nicking points just like he did last week when he got away with it.
Should be a lot of maximums in this one, as you mentioned. Taylor's been hitting a lot of maximums recently. We know he does it for fun. Who's going to get the most tonight, do you think?
Well, going on last week, the way Phil Taylor was actually throwing, he looked in control, as did Adrian, but the way Phil's darts are going in, I would say Phil just.
The atmosphere's coming through your telly. It's phenomenal here tonight. Nigel Pearson and Rod Studd, your commentators.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, positively salivating at the thought of this opening match between the Power and Jackpot, as you alluded to, that game at the Wolverhampton Civic in 2013. The greatest game of all. What a match that was. Tonight, though, the bookmakers saying that Phil Taylor the favourite to win, despite now Adrian Lewis being ahead of him in the world rankings. That's why Phil Taylor walked on first. Lewis ranked 3, Taylor ranked 4. They'll want to do something about that over the coming months, Nigel.
Absolutely, Rod, and in the current Premier League table, level on 6 points apiece, Lewis and Taylor. That Grand Slam battle of 2013 will live long in the memory. Can this be the first 180 in the game? It's just dipped short, but yeah, Lewis ahead on legs difference, +8 before tonight, Taylor +6. And more legs won against the throw as well for Adrian Lewis. 6 points apiece, a clutch of 3 players on 6, Michael van Gerwen being the other. Peter Wright, of course, leading the table on 7 points. And Adrian Lewis, by the way, has never won a Premier League match here in Exeter. Can he put it right here in this one? Not with darts like that.
No, nobody counts on jockey like that, he won't.
Phil, you require 130.
Phil Taylor, the only player to have had a 3-figure finish in every match he's played so far in this tournament. He won't have one here, but Lewis's lax visit has left him out of finishing range, which means Taylor has got another 3 after
91.
these. And he'll fancy that he may only need 1.
Slack from Lewis, but this is on throw, this first leg of the game.
65.
Power, who has
Phil, you require
dominated the Premier League since its inception, and he needs tops here. There's the red bit. Well, it's not the easiest view from there now. He's going to try and squeeze it through. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant from Phil the Power Taylor. Averaged 115 last week against Dave Chisnall, and look at this for a response from Adrian Lewis. High quality start to the game, but that was a fine finish from Taylor, because it looked, well, he certainly restricted his view.
Yeah, he had probably half of the double top bed to aim at in between darts A and B. He has, along with Michael van Gerwen, the longest current winning streak in the Premier League in 2016. That's 3 matches. Having lost to Barneveld week 1, he's beaten Wade, Anderson and Chisnall very authoritatively, averaging over 100 in all 3 of those matches. And as Rod Harrington was rightly pointing out, Nigel, if Michael van Gerwen doesn't produce that jaw-dropping, belief-defying performance, we all go home buzzing about Phil Taylor's 115.
Yeah, very much so. And even last week, you know, he was close to a 9-darter. We were saying in the press room watching that game, only Phil could steal the limelight with a 9-darter last week. Wasn't quite to be, and quite right, I guess, really, that MVG walked away with that record average of 123.4. But at one stage, you felt this fella may have just grabbed the headlines with a 9-darter as well. Wasn't quite to be. But
you require 146.
Phil Taylor already well on course to achieve the first target, of course, and that is to avoid the bottom 2 come week 9 in Judgment Night, where we will lose 2 players from the Premier League at the Motorpoint Arena on March the 31st.
There was half a chance there. Now he's looking at 96 to leave tops, which is what he hit in the last leg. But this time, Lewis has a finish with Taylor waiting. Double 12, 2 darts, double 6, and 2 darts come and go. And Phil Taylor, in the last few weeks, has not been a man in a mood to spurn an opportunity.
Yeah, Lewis will kick himself there. Tops for Taylor, middle of the bed, no problem that time. First time of asking, and that hurts Lewis even at this early stage of the match. Last week, of course, Adrian Lewis beating James Wade 7-5, so for the second successive week, Lewis on stage first. But my goodness, that was the best and the worst of both players last week as well, as Taylor hits our first 180 of the night here in Exeter. And Lewis again, some sloppy finishing, managed to scrape through against James Wade.
60.
But he'll be kicking himself there with those missed opportunities. Remember, with a leg where he was looking to hold his throw, and Taylor's punished him, and look at him here now.
Well, twice last week in Aberdeen, he went off with back-to-back visits from 3 big trebles to tee up 9-dart opportunities. Could not get any further than that. Hence the chuckle from the Power, as he couldn't find a second maximum here. But the reality is he's 160 head plus these, looking for a 3-zip lead.
Commanding display from the Power, and that's a lovely ton 40. He's averaging 115 again here. Last week 115.25. Taylor's averaging 115.3 tonight.
95.
Really is a model of consistency, isn't he, right now? Phil Taylor is enjoying his darts. He's buzzing with excitement like a youngster at the hockey. And well ahead here and looking good for 3-0 on his next visit.
Yeah, worth remembering that Phil Taylor did not make the playoffs in the Premier League, did not make the Final Four for the first time in Premier League history last year. He's redressing the balance this year. This to go 3 up in a quest for 4 straight wins. And Lewis absolutely nowhere in this leg. The leg is over.
Well, as well, you have to remember, Rod, that there was a well-documented time with Taylor where he got off to a poor start in the Premier League as Lewis looks to switch for treble 19. That's nice, but the point I was making there, that there was a time when Phil made a real change to his game by changing manufacturer, of course, in terms of his darts, and he really struggled early on to survive. And, well, Lewis has hit a 180 and Phil Taylor is off and running as well. But yeah, there was that time a couple of years ago where Phil was scraping by early on and struggling for consistency and could have been eliminated.
It's on here. Not anymore, but fractionally out again. What a leg this is. Lewis went 170, Phil Taylor 177, sorry, Phil Taylor went 180. Trading big scores again as Lewis squeezes that in to leave 50 after 9.
Yeah, you feel that Lewis has got to take it as well. Can't afford to go 4 down. Well, Taylor finds the treble with the last dart to leave 81. Lewis needs to take this now. Tops. This is a big shot now at double 10. He's blown it. 5 missed double attempts for Adrian Lewis. Can the power punish him here for a 4-0 lead?
12 for Bull. Not bothered about even sniffing round the treble. Oh, goodness me, Adrian Lewis that far away from going 4-0 down.
Well, he really is struggling here now. Struggling badly, Adrian Lewis.
Well, you alluded to it, Nige, that last leg against James Wade. Remember when Wade missed 8 for the draw, Lewis missed 8 for the win before finally hitting a dart at double, and it's carried on tonight. He's only hit 1 of his last 16 attempts at double in the tournament. Double 8 for Taylor, and that's 4-0.
That hurts Lewis all right. Jackpot well below with the finishing, and that game that I was mentioning, Roger, quite right, in the Madhouse going for double 1. It was all over the place, absolutely all over the place last week in Aberdeen. First game of the night. And Phil Taylor already 2 legs away from ensuring he won't be beaten tonight. Lovely recovery from the first start. He's just doing what he has to do, playing his normal game, averaging 108, but it's the finishing that has cost Jackpot.
7 darts at double thrown by Adrian Lewis, none of them have found the target. Phil Taylor with 4 from 8 as he has pounced like a predator when Jackpot has come up with the wrong reels. Yeah, Phil Taylor here now looking to go 5 up, and it would put him top of the table, at least temporarily. It would put him up to 8 points with Peter Wright and Van Gerwen to play. Snakebite at the top of the ladder with 7, MVG on 6. So Phil Taylor would leapfrog the pair of them onto 8 if he converts this 4-0 lead into a victory.
He just looks untroubled. He's just, even when he switches down for treble 19, it works first time. His finishing is just doing what he's got to do.
58.
And next week we go to Nottingham. Phil will play Robert Thornton. Adrian will play Peter Wright. It's night 6 of the Premier League. Well, Taylor under no pressure here.
49.
Yeah, I mean, Lewis has got to hit the lot here to leave a finish. Well, he might do that.
I wonder what's going through Adrian's mind now. Just got to get a leg on the board, hasn't he? Double 10 for Taylor for 5-0. Who would have thought this? Lewis not on a finish. Taylor sees it out anyway. Ruthless from the power. 5-0. Can you believe it? This now is a leg that Lewis cannot afford to drop.
99.
There have been half a dozen whitewashes in the Premier League. Phil Taylor has been on the wrong end of one of them at the hands of a merciless Michael Van Gerwen. He's handed
100.
one out as well against an opponent who should not be named.
97.
Yeah, and still that stat for Adrian Lewis that he has never won a Premier League match here in Exeter. 2 draws, 4 defeats. Not looking good to improve that, is it?
93.
Taylor averaging 105 right now. Just doing what he does best, and Lewis has to try and apply some pressure. Needs to get a leg on the board.
Yes, he's had a good run against Phil Taylor in all competitions. He's won 4 of the last 5 all over the circuit, but Phil Taylor with 4 wins out of the last 6 in Premier League meetings, and
93.
that form holding good here with Taylor averaging, getting on for 105. I'll tell you what, if Lewis doesn't find a treble here, Nige, and he hasn't, this whitewash is on.
It is, because it's a tall order the way Adrian's playing to take out a 1-4-8. He's not even looking like winning a leg at the moment. Switching now,
59.
can't find the treble, so
How do you require 148?
this is your chance, Adrian. Might even have 6 from here. Looking to set it up.
140. Will you require 156?
Now, this would be a party piece for Taylor, wouldn't it? Gets the treble with the first dart.
Well, I'll tell you what, Nige, when that first one sat perfect on the bottom bar, I feared for Adrian Lewis.
You're thinking what I was thinking.
I felt fear for Lewis. And he's on the board. The whitewash is avoided by Adrian Lewis.
7th leg.
A scowling Phil Taylor.
Game on.
Disappointed that he couldn't rack up his 2nd career Premier League whitewash.
But Taylor has the throw here. He wins this leg and he will not be beaten tonight. Taylor with 1 defeat in 4 before tonight. 7 missed shots at a double. Lewis is 13% at the finish.
100.
Dave Chisel and James Wade standing by for our next game here in Exeter, match number 2 tonight. But this is just Phil Taylor all over. 2 treble 20s again. Beautifully done. 5 140s now for Phil Taylor. He's hit a couple of 180s as well. And in a game between these two, quite surprised that Phil is outscoring Adrian at the 180 count, 2-0. It's quite a shock that Adrian hasn't hit 1 yet.
Indeed. Had 16 at the start of the night, 18 leads the way, Van Gerwen and Chisnell. And looking just a little bit down the line, a couple of weeks, Nige, to Glasgow, where Van Gerwen plays Taylor. Wow, the way that both are playing, goodness knows what we might see.
Go for the 14 now.
89.
Yeah, that'll be worth watching in Glasgow. I think that's the understatement of the century. Now, treble 19 would leave the ball. So, Phil Taylor is coming back here. That's nice from Lewis, but it's probably too little too late, you would think, as Taylor comes for double 16 for a 6-1 lead, and he cannot be beaten from there. He's making it look easy at the double. Easy as you like.
Well, 1 more leg for Phil Taylor, and he will put the exit into Exeter as far as Adrian Lewis is concerned.
Nice one.
Very swiftly as well.
That's nice. Just got to go above that. See the way the lie of the first start was. Oh, as if to prove my point perfectly. As soon as it just dipped below, the way he used the lie of the dart to go above it with the 2 treble 20s, Taylor.
95.
Yeah, savage performance from Phil Taylor. Brutal darts. Lewis, well, missed opportunities. 2nd leg and the 4th leg, they were on the Lewis throw. He spurned opportunities at double. Taylor broke twice, and that was pretty much all she wrote.
Taylor on the verge of 4 straight Premier League wins. Will he do it in this leg, or will he have to wait for the throw in the next? Seems only a matter of time right now.
Fulton.
Well, I suppose we can have a bit of bad luck. 6-1 up in the worst time to have it.
No treble for Lewis, though.
60.
Well. Taylor could pounce here, couldn't he? Oh, that's a beautiful... How did he manage that with that second down? Switches for treble 19. That is just vintage Phil Taylor. Lewis not on a finish. It's looking bleak for Jackpot right now. Might just have to put this to one side.
34.
Move on to next week.
84.
If Taylor takes this out, he's got the treble, needs the double 12 for a 7-1 win for the Power. He's got another dart.
Game shot.
Brilliant from the Power. 104 average, and Phil Taylor beats his great friend and rival in convincing style and makes it 4 straight Premier League wins here tonight. And Adrian Lewis has still never won a Premier League game in Exeter. The Power on the march. He beats Adrian Lewis 7 legs to 1.
Table looks like this. Phil Taylor now top of the pile with 8 points from Peter Wright, Michael Van Gerwen, and Adrian Lewis slips to 4th place. Let's hear from Phil Taylor now, talking to Rod Studd.
Phil, well done. That's 4 consecutive wins, each and every one with 100+ average. 104 tonight, by the way. Just give us your reflections on that.
He missed a couple of doubles at the early doors. He missed, I think it was 63, and I think that did his head in. It really did, because he played well that leg. And sometimes that can happen. And all in my mind was just keep putting him under pressure, and then he might miss doubles, and he did. He missed. I think it was double top, double 10, double 5. I think, and that was the difference.
Yeah, leg 2 and leg 4. His throw, you broke 4-0. Pretty much game over, isn't it?
It could have been 2 each. It wasn't. It was 4-0, but it's like missing a penalty in football. It's heartbreaking. You know, he's tried so hard. He's been practicing away, and you know he's been playing brilliant practicing. I've been watching him, and he's been playing really well. And I'm thinking, you've got to go up there now, and you've got to play. You've got to do 110 average now. And so that was my mindset: just go out and play.
You were 5-0 up. Was your mindset then to try and rack up another whitewash? Because you've had one in the competition before, whisper it quietly, against Wayne Mardle. But were you looking to whitewash him? Is that ruthless streak there for you?
No, not at all. No, we don't think like that. No, I think the last thing any pro wants to do is whitewash another pro. They don't want to do that. I mean, if you do, you do. You know, you will go for it. But you're more apologetic when you beat them 7-0 and you beat them 7-1. It's weird. You know, it's horrible for them anyway. But sometimes they come back stronger as well. So sometimes it doesn't do you any harm. I don't think this will do Adrian any harm whatsoever. I think it's the boost he might need now for pushing on for the rest of the tournament.
Certainly the boost that you've got. You don't need it, but you're top of the table as we speak now. How proud are you to be top at the moment?
He's a little fair way to go, yeah. My main ambition now is just to qualify, which if the results go well for me tonight, then I will qualify for the next round. And then it's for the O2. I missed the O2 last year tremendously. I sat at home and watched it, and I was gutted, I'll be honest with you. I missed it by a fraction. So this year I put my foot down a little bit. I've been practicing harder, altered a few things, as you know. So I'm hoping for the O2. That's what I'm after. And then if I win it, I win it.
Yeah, you look on course for it now. Well played tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for the venue as well. Been brilliant. The crowd been fantastic again. Thank you.
Memories of missing out on the O2 last year, haunting Phil Taylor. On that sort of form, there's no question, Wayne, that it will be there this year.
Well, you'd have thought so. He's won the league phase 8 times, but not for the last 3. That's gone to Michael Van Gerwen. He hasn't been top that often in those 3 years at all, let alone just at the end. So he'll want to just kick on and make the finals. Of course you want to win it. There's an incentive for £25,000 bonus for winning the league phase as well. But Phil is, like he said, it's all about qualifying for the playoffs. That's all it's about. He's in a brilliant position. If he just keeps winning, the position he's in now, it's about not losing games. The minute he loses, you lose ground on that person, obviously, but also the field. He's in a real good spot, but he's playing beautifully. That's the main thing.
Did you think he could rebuild his career the way he has? Because 55 years old, people were writing him off not long ago.
Well, I was just talking to Phil's right-hand man, Bob Glenn, and he said the darts he's using now, he said he'll never ever change. Whether or not he does or not remains to be seen. But if Phil's happy with his equipment, then mentally he must be in a good place. Not pushing them, not throwing them too soft either. He's throwing well with confidence. If that lasts, Phil Taylor can win absolutely anything. We know that.
Adrian Lewis below par by quite a long way.
Yeah, from the very outset, as you know, I love watching the throws of these and the mechanics of these players. As he was bringing his arm back, his head was going back, he was losing all his momentum. It has to come back down, the chin come back down, dragging his shoulder, dragging his elbow. He just could not get any rhythm going at all. That never got any better from the very outset to the last start. And when he was on double top and double 10, that was the leg. Instead of going 2-1, he went 3-0, 4-0, and then he was in all sorts of trouble. Just did not play well. One of those days.
Dave Chisnell against James Wade. What are your feelings on this one?
James Wade played excellent last week until it come to right down to the nitty-gritty. Missed doubles, which is unusual. Chizzy, 109 average and got beat. He's playing well, but you can lose a bit of confidence when you're losing. He's not winning as often as he was last year in the Premier League, but I expect Chizzy to outscore James Wade. And if James is missing doubles, then I can see him not getting beat by 7-2, 7-3, but definitely 7-4, 7-5. It's one of those where James has to pop those doubles away, otherwise I think he will get beaten.
He hits 180 for fun. Dave Chisnell on the way next.
Betway sponsors Premier League darts on Sky Sports.